Get this sent out real quick. All right. Whew. Fucking Manny. Holy hell. Shit. Had a chunk on Thurman. Fuck. Yeah. Give it a second. See if I can get a few people in here. I think the mic and everything is working straight, so we'll give it a minute. Let that Manny fight sink in for a second. Good stuff. Fucking old man Manny. Yo, what up, homie? All right. Yeah. Finished off the night with the Manny fight. That kind of played out perfectly. UFC went right into it. UFC started out, and it was rough. I think they said 10 decisions tonight. Tied the record. It was slow, man. It ended good. It was got a few good fights there at the end, or a couple good finishes anyway, and good fight at the end. Then yeah, fucking Manny over fucking pissing ecto cooler or some shit, man, because man, 40 years old, no, almost 41, and yeah, that was speed still there, man, which is pretty fucking crazy, man. At 40, and yeah, I did pretty well on the UFC fights tonight betting them, but man, I gave a chunk of it back on Thurman. I was on Thurman pretty good, man, especially after the line moved, and yeah, my boy Matty, he told me he had some reservations, man. He was right. He usually is right. And dude knows his boxing, so yeah, props to Matty for sure. More satisfying finish, man. It's always Vic, dude. It's always Vic. Fuck that dude. It's always nice to see that dude get slicked. All got defense, man. That the way Hooker set that up though, how he kind of came in, dipped and faked with the right, and didn't even fully throw it, and then came over with the left. That was beautiful, man. And Vic gets caught with that. If you put some pressure on Vic, man, he stands completely fucking upright, and he just doesn't know what to do with it. when Vic was on his run, man, and winning a little bit, he just he used his distance well. He used to use that front kick to keep guys at distance. He had a really good jab and stuff. Just guys figured him out, man. You pressure Vic, and he has got tall guy defense to the fucking fullest. Yeah, it's always nice seeing that dude get knocked the fuck out, man. I mean, most know his his story and background with who he trains with and shit. Just yeah, it's always nice. Yeah, it was a so card. I think we knew that going in though, right? Like I said, it started pretty slow. 10 decisions on this card. Yeah, some of these matchups, judging again tonight was just, man, one judge gave fucking Thurman a card in that fight. So it's just all over, man. My boy Gamblou out there, I respect him, man, and stuff, but those older cats, man, they were around watching boxing and stuff way back in the day when it was, it had a lot of mob ties and shit to it, and it was as crooked can be. And I mean, I'm not saying it isn't still, because boxing can be very crooked, but to think that it's any worse over in boxing than it is in the UFC, I mean, we've seen 2 or 3 as bad a decisions as you're ever going to see on the last 2 cards. I mean, that decision for Hernandez tonight is just, come on, man. I mean, that's his hometown and as crooked as it gets. Benito Lopez last week in Sacramento. I mean, that's fucking as bad as it gets, man. So you can't tell me it's any worse over in boxing when we see that shit multiple times every week in MMA. Just bad judging decision after bad judging decision. So yeah, it's one thing, man, that just hasn't fucking caught up. We say it over and over and over. It's hard to believe that after all these years, these people still cannot judge fights. And it's so bad because seriously, I could pick 15 guys that I interact with on Twitter that can judge fights way better than these guys that get paid. And I mean, we talked about on analysis. I mean, it's not like some kind of rich man's job, but to be making like 1,500, a couple grand a card to judge fights is a pretty good fucking living. Like, that's good money. I would take that job right now. And I mean, then like over on the boxing side, you got Adelaide Bird. That chick is, I mean, they've been around for 25 years and is still as bad as ever. It's just incredible, man. I'm going to the bit, man. The Pilarte fight and Corrales. I saw most gave that fight to Pilarte. I was back-to-back cards where the biggest fave on the card lost 2 weeks in a row. I don't know. I think even on MMA decisions, almost every media guy gave that fight to Pilarte too. So you could argue that was a bad decision, but I scored it for him. It was close though. I mean, you can't leave it in these idiot judges' hands, man. So yeah, but Corrales ended up getting that decision. He was a pretty decent dog. Like I said, the biggest fave on the card has lost 2 weeks in a row. Corrales by decision was plus 500, so that was pretty good if you had it. A dog that I liked on this card, and I played Mario Batista. Man, that was a fun fight. Even though it got to a decision, I thought that was a really fun fight. Sue Sun, that guy brings it. I believe he's in a really good fight before and a loss before this fight, but that was definitely a good fight. And yeah, Batista at around plus 160, man. That guy's he's a tough out, man. So yeah, that was a dog that I hit tonight. Yeah, that was a fun fight, man. Then Reg Borg back. It was good to see Ray get a win, man. That was that was a little touching speech after, dude's been through a lot, man. Hard to watch a guy out there that puts it on a line like him, though, kind of saying sorry, about taking his job for granted and stuff. Is like, if there's any dude out there that deserves a little slack for missing some fights and stuff lately, I mean, come on. But yeah, Borg got down to like minus 150 or something at one time. That's crazy, man. I know he's been off and didn't look good his first fight back after a long layoff, but man, the skill gap here was pretty huge in my opinion. So I thought that was a little disrespectful, man. But Borg's just he's not gonna beat the top guys at 135, man. He's too small up there, even as skilled as he is. He's really, really good, but he's not disciplined enough to make 125 consistently. And I mean, that's going to be his downfall. He's just not going to have the size up at that weight class, man, to compete with the top guys. But yeah, it was good to see Borg get a win again, man, get back on track. And nice little hit at minus 150. Thought that line was definitely a little bit off. And another fight. And the next one, this was just, man, Jennifer Mai just completely fucking pieced Roxy up. I didn't really understand this line either. Maya got down to like minus 130. I know Roxy got a okay win her last time out against the shitty Shevchenko sister. Man, to swing a line, I think this much in this fight was just crazy, man. She's not that good. She just isn't, man. She's not very skilled whatsoever. Her stand up is like as bad as it gets. I mean, it just doesn't get much worse than that. And I was tweeting with dude on Twitter during this fight. Like they really should have kept all this stuff under Invicta's banner and like make good cards, stack good cards with the, all these chicks they spread out sporadically over UFC cards. This stuff don't belong on there, man. And it's not hating against women or anything. It's just, it's not, most of this stuff is not good, man. You could name 2 or 3 women's fighters that are legit decent draws that you want to see every time out on a UFC card. And I think it would have been better for the fighters and the fans alike to just kept everything under Invicta's banner, except maybe your champions. Outside of that, it's just this stuff's bad, man. It's just it's not good, man. I guess you could say that for a lot of the content on the UFC now, but it's where we're at now. It is where we're at. And then go on Sam Alvey. I hope he really didn't think he won that fight afterwards. Like, there's nothing worse than these dudes raising their hands when they've had this shit and piss kicked out of them. Alvey brought it, though, man. I mean, there for a couple of years, Alvey literally threw like 2 punches around. And his past few fights, he's actually been going for it. And he's been getting knocked the fuck out for it. So, Bray put it on him. Alvey tried his damnedest to get knocked out at the end of the first round. He came really close. Sam Alvey he is what he is, man. And then another dog that I had on this card, Rocky got back in the winning column. It was a close fight, man. I scored it for her. I thought she took that third round. Decent win for her. I just thought this was a big drop down in class, man. She went from fighting some of the biggest killers in her weight class to Aldana, who I don't rate too highly, man. But yeah, plus 135, I believe I got her at. Rocky gets it done. Then Steve Peterson Caceres fight was wild, man. I thought that was a pretty good scrap on here. Peterson looked really, really good, man. I played him, I believe, minus 110 or so. He looked good in the first, man. I thought he was going to get that choke. He couldn't get it. And then, Jesus, man, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody just literally not know how to cut off a cage like Steve Peterson, because he followed Caceres around for the next 10 minutes and just got pieced up, dude. So, just a tough guy, man. Just another one of those. It's like I said, we're at this level now. These are fights that are literally ending the ESPN portions of cards, man. That's the content now. Yeah, and then the big boys went at it. I got this one completely wrong. I liked Ben in this fight. And Andre looked about as good as he can look, man. Some of the stand-up, he was hitting Rothwell with head kicks and throwing spinning shit and stuff. So, yeah, Arlovsky looked decent, man. But his how his chin has come back is just absolutely baffling, man. This dude was just getting knocked the fuck out just a couple years ago, man, and now his chin holds up. If your chin holds up and you got some of the striking that Andre still has, you're pretty highly rated in this division, man. We'll talk about it with another young heavyweight, man, coming up, but it doesn't take much to be one of the top guys in the heavyweight division in MMA anymore. I mean, we'll talk about it with Hardy coming up, but it just does not take being prime fucking Alistair Overeem to be a fucking top 10 heavyweight anymore. I mean, just you can bring up the top 10 list right now. And I mean, me personally, I think, Greg Hardy's going to beat most of these guys, but yeah, we'll talk about it. And then, yeah, talking about bad judging. I mean, I saw Lance Fishel saying it on Twitter that, Trinaldo can't bitch and complain. He didn't really do much either. I mean, I get that, but Alex Hernandez didn't win that damn fight, man. Like, come on. There is no way, dude. That's his hometown as it gets. And I bet Alex Hernandez. I can be one of the most biased motherfuckers you'll see. It definitely skews my judging from time to time on fights. I think it does a lot of people, but I didn't think that was close, man. Alex Hernandez lost that fight. Trinaldo's just, man, that dude's he's been criminally underrated, man, for years now. Dude's like 40 now. I've cashed on him as a dog so many times. And he gives another tough out, and he got robbed here, man. Alex Hernandez didn't win that fight. It's another bad decision. It's just that's as bad as it get. I mean, I think there was a few scorecards. Yeah, there was 2 30-27s for Alex Hernandez in that fight. Like, give me a fucking break. That's completely impossible, man. I mean, eventually maybe we're gonna get to where these judges got to answer to somebody. Got to have performance reviews like a lot of other sports do. I mean, we've talked about it on the analysis. There's places like the EPL and stuff, soccer in England. They literally sit down weekly and rate their referees. Not like a lot of them's not still shit. I mean, they are, but they try to give the less shitty ones the higher profile matches. I mean, you got to do something. It's just at this kind of level that just can ruin guys' careers. I mean, you can be a young fighter in this game and have some shitty decision go against you and never be heard from again. So it's just kind of fucked up that these judges can make or break some guys' careers. Something that's got to, I say it over and over, man. It's the one part of this sport that hasn't evolved worth of shit. Every other aspect of it evolves by the year, and this stays the same. And yeah, speaking of the where the card picked up, the ending was awesome. There were some good fights early, but just kind of slow with all the decisions. But yeah, I talked on it to start the show. Few things make me happier watching MMA than to see James Vick and his tall guy fucking defense get slick knocked out, and happened again. Um, like I said, the little combo that Hooker set it up with was really nice, and um, the game plan's out on Vic, man. You just you put the pressure on him, and that dude back straight up with his head hanging in the air, with his chin out, and he's there to be knocked out, and it happened again. That's a few in a row for Vic, man. I mean, I don't know what kind of salary he makes, but I mean, he's on that cut line. Maybe he's one of those guys that stick around with losses. But I mean, it's not like he's putting on, great fights or anything. If you like him getting knocked out, it's pretty fun. But that's what's happening. So, yeah, and Hooker, that was a good bounce back for him, man. After that Barboza fight, he was just way in over his head in that fight, and I was glad to see him take 7 months off. A lot of these guys want to jump back in. After a beating like that, you got to take some time off, and Hooker did that. So yeah, he looked good. It was a good bounce back. I still think that guy's really, really talented. And then kind of the talk of Twitter tonight. The dude Greg Hardy. Man, first off, before even talking about the fight, Hardy is an absolute piece of trash. I mean, I don't think it's hard to say that the guy's a scumbag. We can all talk about dudes getting second chances and being able to make a living and all that. I get it. I understand that. I get the rub on Hardy though. A lot feel that the dude hasn't even really apologized for the things he's done, and I agree with that. I can see that too. It's fist fighting to me, man. Like, you got to separate that shit. There's a lot of really shitty dudes in almost all sports and almost all things in life, that you watch and enjoy and give your business to. Um, I don't knock anybody for saying they'll never watch a Greg Hardy fight. That's fine by me. I don't. I'm not knocking that decision. I'm not knocking that opinion. Props to you. Um, I enjoy watching violence. I don't care who does it. I think most of these guys are pretty shitty humans. There's a whole lot of them. But then about getting into the fight, it's just there's all you got to go off that hate for Hardy. He's always going to get judged differently fighting wise too. They're always gonna, like tonight. Juan Adams was the shit before this fight. I said it last week. If Juan Adams gets KO'd, Juan Adams was this shit bag. You know what I'm saying? He's another can they fed to Hardy. That's what it's gonna be. That's the talk that's gonna come after every Hardy win. Now he's got no skills again. Now he's some marginal heavyweight. Was losing to Alan Crowder. I can't agree with that, man. Like, if you can't see the development, his wrestling. I'm not saying that was some great takedown defense tonight or anything on a kind of sloppy shot, but it was perfect. He did exactly what he needed to do in that spot. He got him to where he needed to put him, and he finished the fight. I mean, what else? What else can you ask for in his development? He's got 9 fights. And I'll go back. This is the heavyweight division, man. It does not take much to be a top 5, top 10 guy in the heavyweight division. Hardy's going to be a top 5 guy. It's going to happen. People hate it. It's going to happen. Athletes like him just don't grow on trees, man. And then you put on the desire to want to learn and hurt people, the power. You're not going to be able to stop that guy, man. He's going to be good. Now, do I think he's going to be like heavyweight champ and reign over the division? No. I mean, Ngannou slicks him tomorrow. Don't get that twisted whatsoever. You know, DC tosses him around. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are going to fuck him up. But he's going to be good, man. You can see it all there. If you're not seeing the improvement on his wrestling and his get up ability and his takedown defense, you don't want to see it, because it's there, man. But he is a scumbag. Yeah, I mean, straight up. A lot of them are, though, man. But yeah, we'll move on from that. Yeah, man. I agree with reading some comments, but yeah, I agree with that, man. The whole Adams hype coming into this fight, it was all just pure hate for Hardy. And then I mean, Adams was he was a D1 wrestler. That guy was a D1 wrestler. Hardy stops a kind of a sloppy, but a shot from a D1 wrestler, you know, underhooks him and then starts raining down blows and finishes him. What else do you want from a dude in his 9th fight, 10th fight? I mean, what else do you want? But we'll see. That guy's gonna be good, man. Yeah, and then Walt Harris, yeah, holy shit. And then, you know, you can go off Hardy and be like, Walt Harris pulls off that KO. I mean, yeah, you're right, Paul. You're right. But still, D1 wrestler. We know how good Hardy is, though. I don't have to convince you. I think you know he's got skills too. But yeah, you're right. It ain't like Adams was, you know, some national champ or national qualifier or anything. But still, yeah. Then we saw everybody say, "Well, give me Walt Harris right now against Hardy. He'll kill him." You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's not like an outrageous claim at this point. You know, Walt Harris is a decent heavyweight, but you can't tell me that Hardy doesn't have a chance to knock out a 13-7 heavyweight that's been beat by some cans in the past few years. Yes, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. That's the state of the fucking heavyweight division, man. It's not good whatsoever. But yeah, that was a crazy sick knockout by Walt Harris. I think that was like the 3rd fastest knockout in UFC heavyweight history, like 11 seconds or something. Yeah, my dumb ass bet on Alexi like an idiot. That was a really bad bet. And then yeah, the main Edwards RDA. I thought Edwards looked great, man. That was definitely his best performance to date. I think RDA is kind of settled into that 170 gatekeeper role, and he's really, really good at it. That guy's tough, man. I love RDA. That he's one tough son of a bitch, man. But Leon Edwards looked good, man. Just to have that sort of wrestling, man. I mean, we've talked about it for a long, long time. Most guys from over there just don't have the wrestling like that. You're starting to see it on a few guys. I really like Arnold Allen. I think he's a British guy that has enough wrestling chops to where they can be good over here, man. But Leon's showing it. I wasn't really high on him, man. I just didn't rate him for years. The best British wrestler in UFC history, Leon Edwards. Hmm. It's probably got to be close, right? I mean, just up to today's standards, just I can't remember a guy that had the pure. I mean, his takedown defense against RDA tonight was as good as it gets. I mean, RDA gets a lot of guys to the mat. Um, that was impressive from Edwards, man. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a tough out for guys, man. He's getting better. You can see the improvement. I think the Jorge fight is still the fight. I mean, that's the fight with the heat, man. I'm with Jorge though. I wouldn't pass up a title shot if they were, telling him that. Which, if I'm Jorge, I wouldn't believe everything Dana tells me. But if he really thinks he's going to get a title shot, I wouldn't fight till I got one. But Jorge ain't going to wait around. That dude's a fighter. And that's the fight, man. I think that's a pretty good fight. I would favor Edwards quite a bit against Jorge. But it'd be a good scrap. Let's see what looked like Limehouse from Joseph. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Yeah, Walt just that was ridiculous, man. That was a hell of a KO. I still can't believe that I bet a Lexi in that fight. I still feel kind of stupid, man. Walt was like minus 150 or something like that. That was just hindsight and everything, but that was a fucking stupid line. And yeah, it was a decent card, I guess. It ended pretty good. Let's look ahead real quick and see what we got. Oh yeah, we got some decent one going back up north, I believe. I believe Sean Alpine Petey from the show is going to this card. Should be it's got a couple up top, but this man, this card gets kind of thin further down. But I mean, Max and Frankie fighting again. I mean, we all know what's gonna happen here, right? I mean, Max is just too much for Frankie, but maybe Frankie will lose this fight, win a couple in a row, and get like his 78th title shot here in a couple more years. Curious to see how Max does look though in this fight. Coming off of the Poirier fight, I think he's gonna roll Frankie, but you never know after those kind of fights. But and then yeah, they're feeding Cyborg some Sean calls her a fake Canadian. But yeah, they're feeding some poor girl to Cyborg, and I guess maybe after that they try to line up Cyborg and Amanda again. It's about one of the few fights I would look forward to over on the women's side, and then yeah. Besides that, man, this is it's a pretty thin card. I know they got my boy Pantoja buried down on the card for some reason. I hope that lineup is off on Tapology because him against Figueiredo is just insane. Probably the second best fight on the entire card. And man, if they have that buried down on the prelims, they're fucking idiots. But those are probably the two fights I'm looking forward to down there. But yeah, that's a pretty thin card as well. I think we're gonna just see more and more of that, man. Tuesday Night Contender Series signing just some marginal guys, man, over and over. Shit we used to watch on Axis on Friday nights. That's prelim cards on UFC pay-per-views now. But I think we'll call it on that. I want to keep these kind of short, especially on slow cards like this. But yeah, I think that'll do it, guys. Thanks for the 7-8 of y'all that turn on here and listen to me talk some shit for a few. And yeah, probably do it again next week, guys. And I'll talk to you people then. Peace.